So I have a question for everybody. If the angel of the Lord goes before us and leads us to our enemies, if you follow the leading of the Spirit, if you walk in the Spirit, if you're listening to the Spirit, who do we know our enemy is? First of all, in general, who's our biggest enemy? Self. Does everybody believe that? You are your biggest enemy. We've been told by Jesus that if we're filled with the Spirit, we have authority over the devil. We have authority over spirits, right? Correct? So we can't say that the devil made me do it, because we have authority over the devil. Jesus said that, correct? But if there is a war that goes on inside of us, if we do that which we know we shouldn't do, if we don't do that which we know we should do, then we find that there is something else inside of us that is contrary to right, it's contrary to good, it's contrary to truth. So we know that there is something within us, not outside of us, but something within us that is at war, that causes us to be at war with ourselves. Correct? It's like when the word came to Debbie, stop drinking Cokes, she struggled with that. Why? Because her flesh desired it. And to a great degree, she was addicted to the sugar and the caffeine in the Coke. Correct? Yeah. And so the word to her was, lay it down. Now, at one point, she believed that the word was from God. And she believed that the word was good for her.
After much suffering.
No, I mean, you believed that that was right, but though your mind told you it was right, and though truth said it's right, her desire and her appetite
So no, this can't be right.
said, no, I've got to have this. Correct?
Right.
Okay, so do you see that there was a war going on? Now, the word that she heard bore witness with something deep in her soul. The word that she heard, get off of Coke, bore witness in her heart, in her spirit. But her mind, together with her emotions, her appetites, and her desires, sought to override that in her heart which knew that she should get off of it. So there was a battle going on, there's a war going on. Isn't it interesting, when a word from God, when a word of truth is spoken to you, you instantly go into conflict. You know, a man of God, a woman of God can ruin your day by giving you one word. Now, if there was no power in that, there's no way that a word could ruin your day. But truth can ruin your day, and your week, and your month. And the more you resist it, here's what's going on. Your emotions, your passions, your desires that have habitually been influenced and fed by the old man, together with your mind, the self-justifying reasons that you find that you can get, the enemy's right there to help you. Those two elements, thoughts, intelligence, and emotions, physical addiction, those war against what?
Spirit.
The Spirit, the Word of truth. That wars against the Spirit of truth. Now the battle that's going on is for a preeminent position. Who is going to sit on the throne? Who's going to reign? Now when you allow your mind, your desires, your appetites to win out over truth, you sear your pure conscience. You do a almost irreparable damage to your soul. Linda, through diet pills, through being fed in her mind that thin is better, through a lot of influences by the spirits that live and dwell in California, the whole self-health principality in California began to deal death blows to her constitutional appetite that God put in her soul. So much so that her appetite became abnormal. Her appetite became that which was perverted and abnormal, which brought her into a downward spiral where she had headaches, she had all kinds of physical problems, she operated under strife and fear, and most of it was because she wasn't eating right. Nor was she free to eat because the spirits had won over her intelligence together with her desire to be thin and acceptable and right and healthy and all the things that she's being told, won out over that small sense knowledge in her soul that there's something unnatural about not eating what I want. There's something unnatural about not eating very much. There's something unnatural about having to take synthetic pills to produce a, quote, natural effect. Catch my meaning? There's something not right about taking a synthetic man-made chemical that supposedly is going to make your God-created, normal, natural body natural. Taking the synthetic product made by man that they tell you is going to make your body normal. If your body's going to be normal, that means you need to let God, who created it, feed you. Then you'll be normal. It's not normal to have what you want. It's not normal. Normalcy is not getting what you want. The spirit of this age says, oh, a loving God would never deny you the things that you want. Why, He loves you. All of us can think back in various times and seasons in our lives where if God would have given us what we wanted, it would have destroyed us. I was sitting in an airplane once before I soloed, and it was our airplane, and I was warming it up. I forget what I was doing, but I started the airplane up, and I taxied out, and I was sitting there warming it up for somebody else. And the Spirit came over me. I was about 15, and I'd been flying since I was 12, or before that even. But I hadn't soloed because legally I couldn't solo until I was 16. But this Spirit came over me, and I was sitting there warming this thing up. I taxied it around. I was sitting there waiting, and this tremendous feeling came over me that made me feel like I had it all together. There was a great temptation just to take off, fly around the pattern and land, and then, get the plane over to whoever I was. And there was only two things hindering me from doing that, and one was named Pat, one was named Betty. Because they would have killed me. If I didn't crash, they would have killed me. Right. Been better off kamikazing into the hangar. But you know, I sat there and I'm looking back on it, I know it was the enemy, I know it was the devil. I know that the devil put a feeling, put a spirit on me to make me think that I could just do it. And I know what would have happened. I'd have taken off and he'd have pulled that spirit off me. And I'd have gone,